Hola clase! This is a video for Spanish 2 for Thursday, September 28th. I am not there today. I'm actually sick at home, trying to get better to get back and teach you again. So basically you're going to get into groups today, but let me go over, first of all, pause this video. You can grab one of these papers that's in the front of the room. Should be right on the desk in the front of the room. It looks just like this. It says Juego de Dados, Dice Game, Verbo de Bota. So grab one of the sheets for yourself, pause this video, and then play me when you get back. So now that you have the paper, let's just go over. So yesterday we were talking about, in the last couple of days, we've been talking about boot verbs. So let's just go through the boot verbs here. This should be the Juego de Dados. There's two sides, so make sure you're on the Verbo de Botas. And if you want to put, just copy down some notes with me really quick. So first of all, when we talk about dormir, we want to remember that's to sleep. This is one of our verbo de botas. We know that this is O-to-U-E. So if you can just write down O-to-U-E so that you remember that it's O-to-U-E. Remember when you're conjugating this, you're going to say duermo, duermes, duerme. Remember you're using your IR endings. You can use the posters. Duerme. And then remember, outside of the boot, it's dormimos and dormis and duermen when you're back in the boot. So if you want to just look at your notes for anything, you can. Querer, we know, is an E to IE verb. So let's just write E to IE. So we would say quiero and quieres and quiere and queremos outside of the boot. So you're going to help each other when we play the game, but let's just take the notes first. Volver is to return. So make sure you know that volver, you're not returning items, you're returning like from a place. So if I say vuelvo de la biblioteca, or tú vuelves de la fiesta. So usually you volver de, you come from a place. So maybe just put the word de after that. We know that that's an O-to-U-E verb. Poder, to be able to. So that's another O-to-U-E verb. So remember, we just have that little internal stem change. We're still using the ER regular endings, but instead of saying podo, it's puedo. Instead of saying podes, it's puedes. Instead of saying pode, it's puede. And then outside of the boot is going to be podemos and podeis. And then back in the boot for ellos is pueden. We know jugar is a U to UE verb. The only one we have that's U to UE. So we say juego, juegas, juega, jugamos, jugáis, and then juegan once you're back in the boot. The last one you have is decir, which is to say or to tell. Make sure you know that. And that's an E to I verb. But this also, remember, decir also has that irregular yo form. So it's digo for yo. So make sure you know that digo, but then it's dices, dice, decimos outside of the boot, decis, and then back in the boot, dicen. So what you're going to do is you're going to get into groups right now. Pause this video. You're going to come back to the video after you play the game, and you're going to throw some dice. So you're going to grab one or two die. You grab them in the front of the room too. So these numbers are just the number of the die on the left. So say you throw a 1, then you get a yo. So that's your subject. You have to throw again. Your segunda echada, your second throw, say that you throw a 2. So that's your verb's going to be dormir, or querer, perdón. So like 2 here is querer. So throw once for the subject, and then the second time is for the verb. Then, as a group, you want to write sentences. So try to write me, let's say 6 sentences. There's 6 verbs. If you can do a 7th one, you can repeat a verb. But try not to repeat verbs except for one time, since there's 6 verbs. You're going to throw the die. Just go around. So say someone gets a 6, that's ustedes. And then they have to throw again. They get a 3, that's going to be volver. So work with your group, try to make really good sentences, work together, help each other, try to work in a group where maybe one person's really strong with verbs, and maybe try to do like groups of like 3 to 4 maximum. And then try to come up with some sentences, and you can check them with me when I get back. But work together and give me some good sentences. Use your notes. So the second round, you're going to work with these verbs that are all yo verbs. So these are all yo. You're only going to throw the die once. So if you get a 1, you get ver. So ver is to see. Make sure you know the meanings of them. And our yo form is veo. So dar is to give. and your form is doi. So these are just all irregular in the yo form. But the rest are regular. Das, da, damos, daisan. These are regular AR verbs in this case, with dar, for example, but it just has an irregular yo form. So dar is to give. What would you give? So you could say like doy un regalo a mi amiga. I give a present, or doy una A. I give an A. So just try the best you can to come up with the yo form. So you would say yo doy and then something you would give. So these are all yo. You're not using any other subjects. Salir or salir con. Salir is to go out with, or to leave, or to go out with. If you use con with it, it means to go out with. So you, in the yo form is salgo. So you'd say like salgo con mis amigas, or tú sales de la escuela. Usually when you leave from a place, it's de. Venir is vengo. So in venir is to come. So you would say like vengo a la clase a las 6. For example, I come to school or the class at 6. Conocer is conozco. Remember, that's to know a person or to be familiar with a place. Like conozco Allison. Conozco a Allison. Poner is to put. That's going to be pongo. So what would you put something somewhere? So pongo el libro en la mesa, for example. Let's go down here. So actually, you can just try to do one round. If you want to go to the second round, you can. Saber is to know, like to know facts or to know how to do something, like say jugar football, or say que hoy es jueves, like to know that today is Thursday. Traer is to bring, and that's going to be traigo. So traigo una banana a la escuela. I bring a banana to school. This year is to say or to tell. This year, some of these are actually also boot verbs. So digo is your yo form, but then it's dices, it's e to I. So you have some of these that are irregular in the yo form, and they're also considered to be boot verbs with those special e to I conjugations. Hacer is hago. Hago is I do or I make. So something you would do or make. And those are totally regular. Otherwise, haces, hace. But we're just working with the yo forms. Oír is to hear. That's oigo. And then estar is to be like in a location, or how are you? Like estoy enferma, or hoy estoy triste. So that would be estoy. So as much as you can, you're going to do this for about 10 to 12 minutes. So whatever you can do in 10 to 12 minutes with these two games, work with your group, write some good sentences, pause this video. You're going to come back and you're going to learn about what we're doing for the rest of the class. Okay, so I am introducing you to your project that we've kind of been talking about a little bit. You are going to make some slides for me. And how many slides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 slides. So it's just a little slideshow about you. It's called Yo Soy. So this is all of these instructions are in your schedule for today. You can see the links here, and they're also in Schoology. So if you want to look in Schoology, it's called the Yo Soy Project. So for the Yo Soy project, you're only allowed to use pictures. You can put your title page, Yo Soy, and then your name. But then otherwise, you're just going to kind of use the slides to tell your story about who you are. It does not have to be perfect Spanish. It can be broken Spanish. It can just be choppy Spanish. Just that you're flowing, and that I know you practiced a little bit before the project, before you presented. I call it more of a charla or a chat, so it's not stressful. But you want to start your project or your chat by basically, I'm going to give you an example, which is also in your schedule for today. So let's just look at mine. So I have Yo Soy Señora Cordiale, and I just put a picture of myself. So you can put a picture. You don't have to put any real pictures, by the way, if you just like to put like a picture of like a fake person, or not a fake person, but just if you're not comfortable putting a picture of yourself, you could put a picture that kind of represents you too. Be creative with this. So then you want to basically describe yourself. So in the thing, it shows you in the description, it shows you like yo soy. So you want to use a variety of adjectives. And I did put a list of adjectives in your Schoology. So if you want to go in there, because I don't just want like basic adjectives, like use adjectives that will describe who you are. But if you look in your notes here, I put a link with a bunch of adjectives that describe personality. So use that link to kind of go in there and figure out like which adjectives would best describe you as a person. So you can go down and like look at these. You can make a list like yo soy, and then come up with like maybe 2 to 3 adjectives that would describe you. It's kind of on the bottom here. And then you also want to say what you're not like. So you would say, and make sure you're using like if you're a female, grosera or antipática, for example. Impaciente doesn't change male or female. Perezosa, it would change to valiente. So if you see it ending in an E, it doesn't change. But like juguetón would be juguetona, estudiosa, amigable. So ask me if you're unsure if a word changes, but then you also want to say what you're not like as a person. So you would say like, yo soy muy inteligente y creativa, analítica, no soy antipática, no soy antisocial, for example. So try to come up with like 2 to 3 adjectives that describe you and 2 to 3 adjectives that you're not. Then you want to describe somebody else in your life. So for me, I said, tengo 3 mejores amigas. I have 3 best friends. Se llama Shazi. And you can point to your pictures as you're presenting to the group. Just pick one other person that's important in your life. So we go back to the project instructions. Basically, for example, then tell us about one other special person in your life. It could be your best friend, mi mejor amiga, or your sister, mi hermano, your boyfriend or girlfriend, mi novia or mi novio, and try to include a description describing that person. So I said, mi mejor amiga es Dawn, y ella es divertida. So I used more adjectives, cariñosa y cómica. If you want to talk about your family instead, mi familia es, tengo 3 hermanos. Just tell us anything else you can tell about your family. You can tell ages if you want. For the next slide, you want to use gustar. And actually, I needed to go over that with you today. So if you have your notebook, let's take that out really quickly because I just want to talk about gustar before we go on with the rest of the project. So because you have to describe what you like and what you love. So let's just quickly, just grab your notebook if you can. You can pause this video and come back. So for gustar, hopefully this is not the first time you've heard about gustar and encantar. Those are the 2 verbs that I'm asking you to use. So you want to say things that you like. So for example, you would say like me gusta. If you're talking about like infinitives like to play, so you'd say like me gusta jugar al tenis, for example. Like you love playing tennis. So you would just use the infinitive me gusta. If you love doing something, so you're going to talk about something you like or something you love, me encanta. And then, for example, like pasar tiempo con mis amigas. So I'm looking for you to say that you like, tiempo con mis amigas. I'm looking for you to say things that you either like or love. So when you say me encanta, you're saying I love. So me encanta pasar tiempo con mis amigas or me gusta jugar al tenis. So just try to tell me about some of your likes and things that you're interested in. That's the second part. So you want to use pictures only, not words. So you can't write these on the screen. You have to have just pictures. So for example, I'll go back into my project here. Cuando no estoy en la escuela, and you are going to write the titles. So for example, ¿cómo me describo a mí misma? You can write that title and then you describe. And then cuando no estoy en la escuela, when I'm not at school, or cuando tengo tiempo libre, you can write that on the slide. But then you're going to say the things you like. Me gusta ir de camping. Me gusta pasar tiempo con mi gato. Me gusta patinar. I like skating. Me gusta cocinar. So, or me encanta. So I can say things that I like or I love. For the next part, you want to say where you go. So you can put a donde voy. That's the name of this. You can put that same title as I have, and then you want to tell where you go. So voy a festivales de música. I go to music fests. Voy a patinar. I go skating. So you can include places that you go. Voy al gimnasio, like just places that you go often or that you want to talk about where you go. You want to use voy, though, which means I go. For your next slide, you want to use some of those yo irregulars. So you just have to do really like one sentence, but I gave you a bunch of examples here. Hago es hacer. So you want to pick like 1 to 2 verbs and use pictures. Again, these are no sentences on these, but you can start with más sobre mí, just like the title, and then you're putting some of your yo irregular verbs, like 1 to 2. I gave you a bunch of examples here. For the next slide, you want to use a stem changing verb. So any stem changing verb, the boot verbs that we were talking about. So you could say something like juego baseball, or prefiero estar en mi casa, or duermo 8 horas, or any stem changing verb. So you just have to pick one verb, stem changing, and then put a picture. And then you're going to put, just describe it. You can put more pictures if you want. And then at the end, you want to give us 3 sentences that to ask the audience about your presentation. So you could do a verdad or falso. So you can do words for these. Señora Cordiale es un poco antisocial. And that would be falso. So you want to do a verdad or falso. Try to write a sentence, very simple. ¿Cómo se llaman las 3 mejores amigas de Señora Cordiale? I have a multiple choice here. So you want to do a multiple choice question. Se llaman Katie, Dawn, y Maria. Se llaman Tati, Erin, y Shazi. Se llaman Shazi, Dawn, y T. The answer is C for mine. So try to do like 3 to 4 choices for your multiple choice. And then I did a fill in the blank. Señora Cordiale pasa tiempo con, and then you have to say like who I spend time with. So you want to do 3 questions at the end, 1 true or false if possible, 1 multiple choice, and then 1 fill in the blank. That is the whole project. So you can review what I have here. And also, if you go in the back of the room, you're going to find this paper. Go in the back of the room. It's right on the back near my desk. And so you don't have to do this part, but you want to organize your slides. So you can organize it, yo soy, no soy, describe someone else. So you can use this to kind of get your project set up and then put it into slides. So part 2, 1 to 2 slides, you want to tell what you liked and loved to do, and only pictures. Remember, no words on these slides, or that's going to get you a 0 on the project or very little credit. And this is actually like 40 points. So you want to get as well high as a grade as you can. So organize where the black is. That's where you're filling in your information. And then use my presentation as a model too. So let's see, 3 questions. And then you want to use your irregular verbs and 1 stem changing, so up to 3. You don't have to worry about this part. We were going to do this as we watched my thing, but because I'm not there, but just really focus on organizing your project, starting to do your slides. This is due next week. And as you know, you still have your take-home quiz. But the good news is next time I see you, which will be, when do I see you next? I see you on Tuesday. We're going to be working on just the yo soy. So you're going to be working on your project in class. So work on project in class. You get to work on that next class. So do a little bit, but then you also have your take-home test due on Tuesday. So do what you can. You have 2 things due. So kind of manage your time today and get what you can do done. And then ask me questions I should be back tomorrow, but it's walkathon. But I'll definitely hopefully be there by Monday, as long as my health cooperates. But gracias por la paciencia and have a great day. Que tengas buen día. Adiós.